Boy, that's just a really wonderful flavor. I love coffee, actually, I really do. Hello, it's Monday, the 19th of December. Almost Christmas. I hope that, as dismal as a lot of things are in the world today, I hope that somehow you can have a happy Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I understand that's happening now too. And whatever you celebrate, I hope you're okay. You know, folks, I'm just going to ramble because it's a testament to the power of what I am doing that I continually, deal with, naysayers and whatnot, trying, like we're in this age of misinformation and low education. And so people are easily misled and just, it's like information is loose and ridiculous. Someone can say something and the next thing you know it becomes a fact when it was really all that someone said. So I'm just reflecting that, I'm happy to be in the position I'm in and saying the things that I'm saying because I know that it's good. And I also know that doing this is helpful. So of course, because it's potent and good, someone has to take a poke at you. And so, as my nephew Karim said to me last Saturday, in life, with all the controversy that we deal with and all of the uproar, it's not clearing up anytime soon. And if you follow me on social media, you see where I'll make these comments and statements, and they're statements for me as much as everyone else, which is, we need to raise the bar. The latest one that I put up was an unfortunate observation is that we are, in general, as people, we're more opinionated than we are wise. And you can bet that I'll be hearing from it, and it's fine, It's just interesting how we can be blind to our own blindness. There will be examples. I usually sweep them like you're cleaning up your yard after your pet. I just clean them up, okay? Because that's what needs to be done, okay? Take it higher, people. Much love, family. I'm sharing my hobby with you. This is beautiful. It's also kind of hard to come by. Laura Allen with Paul Horn, Reflections. It's as much folk as it is ambient. Piano, flute, synthesizer. And when she sings, it's beautiful. She sings like she looks. I looked it up because when I got this a while back, the originals of this are real pricey. So I was happy to find the Gramavision reissue, but now even these are pricey. Crazy. I don't follow sports. When I was younger, I played them. I like to play sports. I don't like watching sports. But with that said, I can see where so many people are happy about the World Cup. So I pulled, I have one other band from Argentina, Arco Iris. But to just kind of, in my own way, celebrate for Argentina, I played this last night. Anabelas, Bubu, Argentinian band. in the same rock and opposition sort of corner like Henry Cow and bands like that, Universe Zero. Primarily instrumental, almost symphonic, really well arranged and composed, beautiful music. I'm always hoping for good things to happen to the general populace, to us people down here on the bottom tier, economically, always hoping for it. So that's the hope, that somehow Argentina winning can help the people. This was wonderful last night. Enrico Rava with the Dino Saluzzi Quintet, Volver. Saluzzi plays bandoneon, almost like an accordion. But again, this is the wonderful thing about music. He's an example of someone who has found a way of playing it in a non-traditional manner. So it's very much, it's a wonderful ECM album. And it's a beautiful timbre, the sound of the accordion, the bandoneon. And when it's used like that on this album, it's wonderful. This stuff that's sitting out, I was thinking that I would do my best of list today. Nah, I'll do it though. I'm thinking I will do it. I mentioned some, but I'm thinking I'll do a video where I get about 15 records that I can remember that I bought this year, that came out this year, that make the cut. I can tell you this, the Boris albums that came out this year, even though I bought them, they don't make my list. They don't. That's not a diss, it's just that I like Boris, but it's just more Boris, and it's just more Boris. Pull this, there was all the hubbub about it when it came out, and then of course, because there's so much information, we just keep moving from one thing to the next, and we forget. But this, we lost Pharoah Sanders not that long ago, rest in peace. But the Floating Points Pharoah Sanders collaboration Promises is beautiful. And I'm so glad that this happened, because when you listen to Pharoah play, and he just plays and he's not trying. If the note kind of fluffs, it kind of fluffs, there it was. He's playing. He was still alive. This master musician, beautiful human being, turned in a wonderful collaboration with this electronic artist. This is really nice. As I said, I love going into my back pages. And I hope they're still sitting out. Yeah, I think they are. This is what I played yesterday. This is my hobby. I listen to all of you people. I also recognize your motivations. It says a lot about you and nothing about me. It's very liberating to know that. I try to share that so more people can learn that. Okay, it's not common knowledge. That's why people kill each other, because of things that people say, merely because people say something stupid and the other person doesn't have the knowledge to know what to do about it, and just brush it off. Raw material time is. This is one of those where I still, if I could by chance come across an original copy of this, I would love it. It's on the RCA Neon label. This is a reissue. English progressive rock band. Not all parts of this album work, but mostly it really does. There's a big part of the sound that sounds a lot like Vandergraaf Generator, which I love. Here's another cover graphic that I think is very, very good. Raw material, good album. So, when I was a kid, Stephanie, you remember this song? Love Is All Around by the Troggs. Of course, Wild Thing was the big thing. But when this came out, was it the summer of '66, I think? This was my song. I still love the song. I love what it's saying. And I love the simplicity of the melody and the way that they laid the strings on it. Perfect. But it turns out that this whole album is good. Night of the Long Grass, their version on here is really good. They wrote it, that's right. It's been covered by someone else, by others. See? This is the original. This is really good. Love that. Here's an example of a record that it took time for its brilliance to become apparent. The Red Krayola. God bless the Red Krayola and all who sail with it. Mayo Thompson's band. These guys come from the same time and period of activity as the 13th Floor Elevators. Their early albums, the other one, Parable of Arableland, super psychedelic. This sounds like it was made today. That's how. Sounds like post-punk skronk, but it was 1968. Look this up and listen to it. Okay? Somebody recently was asking me about the Fall and Pavement. I've been through the Fall. I was there at the beginning of the Fall's career, and so I know what it's about, and I recognize what people get from the band. I had their first single, sold it, but Pavement is not even in the same class as the Fall, but this sounds better than what Pavement is doing now. And this was in 1968, okay? Check it out, all right? Okay, so I listen to what I listen to. Notice that part of my commentary today is in response to some of the comments that I deal with where people are really kind of unthinking about what they're saying to a person they don't even know, as though a stranger has anything to say about my life. They don't, and yet people do it all the time, and I'm not the only one deals with it. That's why I make the comments that I do, so a little enlightenment would go a long way. A little knowledge would go a long way. So I listen to what I want to listen to when I want to listen to it. I don't have to listen to anything. Catch my drift. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Yesterday, this was one of the high points of the day as far as listening. And I love to listen, and it is a wonderful endeavor to travel through sound. Funkadelic, Standing on the Verge of Getting It On, with the Pedro Bell classic cover. Love those graphics. And I love everything about Funkadelic. All their albums. You want to hear me kind of go off? It is an example of the invisible ceiling of racism that exists in this world that is ludicrous. It is because of that George Clinton, who is a bona fide musical and literary, to me, genius, his mind, that he's not on the same level of notoriety and public praise like people like Billy Joel and Elton John. George Clinton, were it not for the fact that black skin is just still such a problem for a lot of white people, that George Clinton is not recognized for the major talent that he is, still alive. I got to meet George Clinton, thank goodness, got to be in his presence for just a little while. I hope you feel me. George Clinton is one of the greatest, and he's still alive. And, okay, just like when Prince played at the George Harrison tribute, My Guitar Gently Weeps, the way he came out and said, you all don't recognize me. Well, I'll show you. And he did. This is all my perspective. There's a lot of truth in what I'm saying. So if it triggers you negatively, think about why. I'm just explaining information from my perspective, and it's a good thing for me to do it. I ain't doing nothing bad. This popped up, and, Gil Scott-Heron, the mind of Gil Scott-Heron, wonderful, his flow and his delivery and the sharpness of his observations. Fantastic. Yes, he has a voice that you can listen to for hours. Yes, I see how beautiful of a man he is. So that helped him in the in marketing him. What's really sad is how nothing has changed. Everything that he's talking about, in particular about, the problems of inequality and racism, they haven't gotten any better. Gotten worse. You can take the name Nixon off of this album and put in you know who. So I listened to some black radio yesterday. This is definitely on my albums of the year list. And there's a song. It's the I think it's the second to the last song on the album. Forever, featuring India Ari. It hits me like a prog song as much as it does like a gospel song. That's what I love about Robert Glasper and his writing. It's so black, it's so modern, and it's so prog at the same time. It's funk, it's jazz, it's black, and it's progressive. Check out the second to the last song on this album. It lifts up, it elevates, and the chordal change is inspiring. It's like, ooh. That's the experience I had listening to it. Had to play it again. Black Radio, definitely one of my albums of the year. I'll talk till I'm done. Hamilton Face Band. I was in my H's, so I played a couple Hamilton records. This is the band that Ruth Underwood was in before she joined the Mothers of Invention. And you can hear how it made sense that she would end up in the Mothers, because this band and this album is kind of quirky, that's my word this morning, and progressive, but not in a typical Emerson, Lake and Palmer way. It's more like a, what is this band doing? Where is this coming from? Could be some ethnic points of contact for these songs that I'm not aware of. But it's pretty cool. And again, I don't pay attention to the words enough to tell you what it's about. The other H I listen to is Hamilton's Streetcar. And I forget the story about this. There's a story about this band, and this is really good. Is it Hair that they're doing? They do some covers on here, like with a horn section and stuff, and then they do the original songs, which are neo-psychedelic, pop psych. Really good. Good song writing. That's what I have sitting out that I didn't put away. Like I said, I love listening to music, and it is a beautiful way to travel. Hope you're all doing well. Share your thoughts with me. Be kind. And if you're not able to be kind, ask yourself what's wrong with you, because it's not me. It's not me.